My presentation is on milestones in public health, specifically nicotine addiction. Some background is that the World Health Organization projects that by the year 2030, tobacco will kill 10 million people every year, including 7 million in developing countries. And on the right over here is some graphic about how teen e-cig users are more likely to start smoking, and that teens do not know that their e-cigarette contains more than just flavoring. Tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable disease, disability, and death in the U.S. About 40 million U.S. adults still smoke cigarettes, and about 4.7 million middle school and high school students use at least one tobacco product, including e-cigarettes. They can experience withdrawal symptoms that may manifest as irritability, mood depression, anxiety, inability to socialize, increased appetite or desire to eat, and sleeplessness, and other complications that will be irreversible if the action isn't taken seriously. Current situation is that nicotine addiction will continue to rise and affect not only adults but young teens and children as well. Strength is existing laws that prohibit smoking in public areas and places, so California's statewide smoke-free air laws ban smoking in places such as public transportation, daycares, workplaces, schools, and other buildings where secondhand smoke can affect nearby people. Weakness is how tobacco and nicotine products are easily accessible, especially towards the youth. Opportunity is to educate both adults and teens on nicotine addiction and how to stop early before fatal disease and illnesses are contracted. The threat is mostly towards young teens and children. Tobacco-Free California's mission statement is to improve the health of all Californians by reducing illness and premature death from the use of tobacco products. Core issues is that previous studies show addiction is a complex process that the youth may misunderstand or have a very diverse understanding of addiction. Each year, the U.S. spends about $170 billion on medical care to treat smoking-related disease in adults. And smoking, again, is the leading cause of preventable death. Smoking causes about 90% of all lung cancer deaths, increases risk of coronary heart disease and stroke by 2 to 4 times, and can cause cancer from anywhere in your body. So here are some graphics I found from CDC about what is in vaping products. So not only is there flavoring, but volatile organic compounds, nicotine, obviously, cancer-causing chemicals, particles, and heavy metals. Some alternatives that have already happened is how California voters have passed tobacco tax in 1988 by adding a 25-cent tax to a pack of cigarettes, and in 2016 by increasing the state tobacco tax by $2 per pack. Two alternative solutions that I propose based on the health belief model is how the Real Cost campaign showed the youth some ads about consequences of nicotine addiction, and a study showed that these ads significantly made consequences more relatable and understandable to the youth. 7 in 10 teens are exposed to e-cigarette ads, so educating teens on how the tobacco industry targets the youth to buy and use nicotine products, how the tobacco industry downplays the side effects, and the serious health complications that come with addiction will spread awareness about the public health issue. Some recommendations is to continue displaying these ads or ads from tobacco-free advocates in public places where young teens are usually around, so like schools, colleges, hospitals, and other places. And another thing we can do is to advocate or vote for laws that require tobacco companies to fully compile a list of all ingredients in their tobacco or nicotine products and to list health side effects. So these are some ads from the Real Cost that may spread awareness to young teens about e-cigarettes and vaping. An action plan is to advocate for changes on chemical content because the tobacco industry doesn't list everything that's inside their products. We could also ban e-cigarettes and vapes and post ads and flyers for rehab centers where smokers and vapors are prevalent, and possibly do a 1-year study and see the effects if this works. Some final points is that 81% of adults in 2018 strongly favored requiring cigarette makers to lower their nicotine levels in cigarettes. And we must educate the youth that there isn't just flavoring in their vape products. We have to fight against big tobacco companies and their tricky advertising towards the youth through education, reform, and law changes. Although there have been improvements on nicotine addiction, there is still a lot of work to do. And these are my references.